Ñnamdi Kanu's trial begins as federal government gives special notice to Ñnamdi Kanu and federal government. On Monday, a federal high court sitting in Abuja issued a quick notice to Ñnamdi Kanu's lawyer as well as the federal government. In the quick notice, the court stated that the defendant and the accused have the right to make any request as soon as possible before October 21st, when the trial of Ñnamdi Kanu will take place. Also, the letters stated that the trial of Ñnamdi Kanu may be shifted to another date if there is any need for it to be shifted. The notice or the Federal High Court states the case will be transferred from the general course list to the hearing paper for Thursday, 21st October 2021 at 9 o'clock forenoon and will come on to be on that day if the business of the court permits or otherwise on some adjustment day of which you will receive no further notice. But if either party desires to postpone the hearing, he must apply to the court as soon as possible for that purpose. And if the application is based on any matter of fact, he must be prepared to give proof of those facts. Also, the parties are warned that at the hearing, they are required to bring forward all the evidence by witnesses or by documents which each of them desires to rely on in support of his case and in contradiction of that of his opponent. A proof will be required at the hearing and not on a subsequent day, and parties failing to bring their evidence forward at the proper time may find themselves absolutely precluded from abducting and abusing it at all, or at best only allowed to do so on payment of substantial cost to the other side and such other terms as the court fits to impose. The parties desirous to enforce the attendance of witnesses should apply at once to the court to issue one or more summonses for the attendance of the witnesses required. It is indispensable that the application should be made to allow time for reasonable notice to the witnesses required. And if the witness is required to bring books or papers, they must be popularized in the summon sufficiently to enable him to understand what it means. However, a party summoning a witness through the court thereby becomes liable to pay such witness a reasonable sum of money to be fixed by the court for his expense and loss of time. Also, the court may refuse to enforce the attendance of a witness unless such sum has been fixed and deposited in the court. But if either party desires to use in evidence at the hearing any book or document in the possession or power of the other party, he must give the other party reasonable notice in writing to produce it at the hearing, failing which he will not be allowed to give any secondary evidence of its contents. In fact, thank God for this at first. Thank God for this at first. Thank God for this at first. At last, the trial will not take place. I love what is happening right now. You see, my viewers, what the court is doing right now is to make the federal government know that the court is set and fit and ready, more than ready, to listen to their hearing. So the federal government should not give any single excuse or whatever, any silly excuse or whatever, not to bring Ñnamdi Kanu in court, to the court. You understand? So what the court is doing right now is a way of informing the federal government that they are aware of their tricks, and should in case they repeat what they repeated in September 21, they should leave the court with no choice than to declare Ñnamdi Kanu free. So all these conditions you see that the court is giving is for a purpose. The courts are not just giving these conditions. It's for the federal government to know that they know what they know. And my happiness is that it's like Bintaniako is ready to do justice to this trial. He's ready to speak up without fear or favor. It's like she is ready to say what she feels that is necessary and correct. Of course, she has no choice than to do that. We are talking about a case which the whole world is aware of, not just a nation. The whole world want to give a listening ear to. This is not Uzodima's case, where Uzodima maneuvered his way in as a governor. We are talking about a world case. UK is involved, Germany, India, Asian countries, African countries, they are all involved in this. They want to know, they want to hear, and they want to discover. They really want to see the end of this trial. You see that? So what are we saying? My dear viewers, I tell you that the federal government are in for this. They have no choice, according to Ñnamdi Kanu's lawyer, than to bring Ñnamdi Kanu to court. No single choice. Because any single mistake made, all of these conditions listed here will be put in effect. We put in effect, and they have no choice. You understand? They have no choice. Okay? So, my dear listeners, I'll tell you with deep joy that I am very happy at last that Ñnamdi Kanu's trial will be coming up by Thursday. So, are you an IPOP member? Are you a Biafran? You need to tighten up your belt and make sure that you are very careful this period, because this period is a very tempting period. You can be tempted to speak against Ñnamdi Kanu. That's why you have to be careful. Be careful. So at this juncture, I will tell you that the federal government are ready to use anybody, most especially the IPOP members. Do you understand? So, my dear, if you are new on this very channel, I would like to see you rolling in your opinion or what you think concerning this trial that is coming up. So don't forget to leave your comments below the comment box. Click on the subscription buttons as well as bell button to receive more updates. Thank you.